Alright guys, Pepper Madness back here again. As promised, I'm going to do another SHTF version of an emergency bag. It's more, this one I packed it because of the way I was living. I was always away from home, usually several hundred kilometers away. So this is how I packed my bag. There are a couple things not in here, like my little handheld ham radio. It's not in here because it's getting programmed right now. I can't figure it out, but anyhow, got someone doing that for me. So carrying on with this, before I get going any further, I'd like to give a few channel updates. Seeing as we have a fairly crappy economy happening right now here in Alberta, what I've started doing is offering small classes in basic gardening. Actually, it's not really that basic, and starting middle of June here, we're going to be booked solid right through till the fall when we do the harvest, and we're currently right now building a solar dehydrator system, complete with fans, because we don't want to cook everything, we want to dry it, right? So we're going to be doing classes on that, on how to build it, how to use it, and how to pack that food away. Also canning, of course, and vacuum sealing. We're going to be doing some salted meat, and of course smoking, curing, all that kind of good stuff, and a small course on building a root cellar. It's a lot of fun, as well as my blacksmithing, my basic blacksmithing stuff that I'm teaching people who are interested in it from a preparedness point of view, making tools and scavenging for steel, things like that. Okay, time to get on with this video. Now, this video here is mainly for my sister-in-law out in the coast. Hello. She was just wondering about getting a starting point, and so she asked me, right, for a bug out bag, right? I personally see no difference between the so-called bug out bag thing and what I call my emergency pack or my get home bag, whatever. There is no difference. The components are all the same. All right, so enough talking from me. Let's switch the camera down there, see the goodies. All right, so I'm back again. Sorry about the camera angle. There's a lot of glare in here, so this is the best I could do for now. What you see on the table in front of you are the components to my emergency bag. All right, and I would like to say before I get going too much further, although it looks big and bulky and it looks heavy, this pack weighs out at 54 pounds, fully loaded and assembled. All right, so let's get on with this. I'm just going to put a few things down on the side. All right. All right, so the two main components of my pack are this extra add-on bag, okay, and over there my main bag. All right, see right here, okay. These are both e-burl stock, high quality. I've had these now for about 4 years, and I've used them a lot. These things have been thrown in the back of work trucks. They've been through all kinds of nasty weather. I've taken them camping, fishing, whatever, right? And basically it works as my camping bag as well. Although I do take a few things out when I go camping. Anyhow, enough me talking. Here's what's in my extra pack. Okay? My add-on pack, pardon me. Alright, so what I have in here, I'm going to make this as quick as possible, is I have a first aid kit. I packed this one. I put a few extra things in this first aid kit myself. That's a different video. So that goes right there. I'm just gonna unpack and then repack. Okay. In here I have a bunch of dehydrated vacuum sealed fruit and vegetables. Potatoes. I got a little bit of Mountain House in here that I portioned up and put into vacuum sealed bags, and of course some oranges. Alright, important to have that vitamin C. And just like you've seen in my other pack video, I also carry these oh, the glare is just terrible in here. I also carry these emergency food rations. They're quite tasty, I find. Anyways, my tastes are simple. They got a nice little lemony taste to them. Packed like that, they're good for 2 years before they start to deteriorate. Okay, and we go through them like mad. Okay, so right here we're going to get into my water systems. These are just the tubes off of my off my small water bladder. As you can see, it's got a filter. Okay, of course, this is the pump end. This is the suck end. Off we go, right? Got myself a stainless steel cup. Okay, I don't like the plastic ones. They just don't seem to hold up that well for me. Yeah, we'll put that down here. Of course, I've got my small water bladder. It's about a gallon. Not quite a gallon, about half a gallon. It's a Gehrig Hydro Pack, and that goes together with all that little hose and pump system that I just showed you previously. Right here, for longer stops along the way, I have a Katahdin filtered water bag. All right, these work really well. As you can see, you know, I have used it quite a bit actually. I really like it. And there's also an extra filter packed away in there. I use a ceramic filter in those so I can back flush. Alrighty, next up we're going to go through the sleep system really quickly. This little Hot Core T300 bag, the rating on it here says to -4 Fahrenheit or -20 Celsius. It does live up to that rating. Okay, in conjunction with that, I have this little thermalite reactor liner, and I believe that this one is supposed to give you another 10 degrees of sleeping bag rating. I can attest to that it does. You've seen the camping video that we had put up. I was fine at 30 below. I was just fine. Step those down. And of course, as part of my sleep system, also, I carry this wool blanket. Okay, it's all wrapped up and rolled up, and I cleaned it. I cleaned it up, so I don't want to take it out and roll it out again and get stuff all over it. Of course, oh yeah, I've got a bit of chaga here that chaga superfood. Excellent stuff. That's your survival food, that stuff. Okay, and of course a small tarp. This is this one's an 8x10, I believe, 8x10 or 8x12. I can't remember which one this is. I don't really use a tarp all that much, or even a tent, but that's entirely up to you. And it would depend on where you're stuck too. Like out in a bald prairie, you might want a tarp to at least roll up in to help keep yourself out of the weather. And as mentioned before, I try to keep these bags as an all-weather bag. So in here I've got a set of ice cleats, strap-on ice cleats or crampons, if you will. Okay. And these are really good too. I've used them at work, walking out on frozen on frozen ice to get the old power poles to fix. And there's a lot of them out there too, let me tell you. All right, and of course a small pair of light leather work gloves in here. Okay, I'm going to repack this bag and we'll move on to the main bag here shortly. This here's my main pack. It's an Burlstock Team Elk pack. All right, it has several really good features on it. I'm not a I don't do endorsements for them, or paid endorsements, but I'm going to just show this pack off real quick. All right, so this thing, it has your chest strap. It has a waist belt, okay, with 2 pouches right here and here. All right, moving it forward, it has a zip-up gun sleeve right there. All right, of course it has a top flap, main bag, and 2 side compartments exactly the same. All right, okay, that's the pack itself. Now let's flip her down here. Move it like this, so you guys can see. And what I'm going to do is I'm going to go through the contents of this top calf bag here. Okay. Okay. Again, this is all very basic stuff for all you more seasoned preparedness type people. And again, I would like to say that this pack was designed for me for being hundreds of kilometers away from home, and also working in remote spots, locations out on power lines, transmission power lines, all through northern Alberta, Saskatchewan, and British Columbia. All right, so this is the sort of stuff that can keep you alive if you're ever stranded or something like that. All right, so in the top, you can see I've got another first aid kit. This one is for immediate use, right out of the top of the bag. It's just a very small Trek 3 emergency type kit. I also have in here a small sharpening system and a small sharpening diamond stone in here for my knives. Right here I have a magnifying glass. All right, that magnifying glass is so that I can read maps, and if need be I can start a fire with it too if I wanted. Everyone's burnt ants as kids, right? Okay. And we'll keep digging down in here in the tickle trunk. Okay, I've got a little wipe thing here for glasses and binoculars, so I don't scratch the lenses. I carry, as you noticed in my other one, in my other pack video, I carry quite a few Ziploc bags, just so I can collect stuff along the way, whether it's dry tinder, birch bark, old man's whiskers, that sort of stuff, or I can also gather food along the way too, roots and various plants and fungi, mushroom and fungi. All right. Should actually have more than one of them. I think I've been using them all up. And I got a little cheapy set of binoculars in here, just for being able to scout around and for my own navigation, and to see if there's others around me that I can that I can attract their attention and maybe gain help. Okay. Or aid them. Of course, big wrap of paracord. And just like in my other pack, I have a small headlamp. All right. Like I said before, this little headlamp is just awesome. I found it so useful at work, like when it's dark out in the winter time and you're having trouble starting a vehicle, and you need to use both your hands. Having this headlamp on Also directs the light right where you're looking and right where your hands are going and working. So I like that. Of course, some more zip baggies. I guess I had a few. Okay. Small notebook, small notepad for taking notes, route notes, bearings, all that stuff that I mentioned before in my other video. I'm trying to go through this as quick as I can, but like I said, I'm doing this for my sister-in-law, so I'm having to explain some stuff that might be really obvious to a lot of you guys, but it's not obvious to her or anybody who's actually just beginning in this sort of stuff. So in this bag here, I have. Oh, I still got that thing. Huh. I got a Bear Grylls little ferro rod striker deal. They do work. I've used them a few times now. And of course I've got some lighters and a couple of longer 6-inch candles in here. All right, that's it for the top pouch. Let's open up the bag. All right, let's get into the main bag now. Let's zip this puppy open. What I like about this bag is it has a top open. There's a top open flap on it, so I don't have to undo the top here, and so I don't have to undo the top drawstring here and dig around in my bag all the way to the bottom to find something, especially in the dark. It's a real pain. I hate that. So I do like to be able to open up my bag, and almost everything is visible to me, and it's a minimum amount of effort and pain to remove the items. All right, so I do have a small area light in here. It's an LED, very cheap. You can see it's nice and bright. Even after 2 years, the batteries are all still good. Right, I hardly ever use it. I just organize my stuff in such a manner that I don't have to go looking for things at night, or when I wake up in the morning when I'm camping. I don't have to go search for the food that I'm going to cook or the coffee that I'm going to do. I have everything ready to go. So I'm just like that. Okay. So right in here I've got a bag full of polar fleece and polypropylene socks. I recommend 3 pairs of each, and of course a pair of underwear, so that while you're washing your dirty underwear or your dirty socks, you can have a clean pair on, which is always nice. Okay, so in the top of this, I've got my fishing kit. That's a different video. All right, in the bottom, this handy little pouch. In the bottom here, I've got several things for that have to do with fire. Okay, so I've got lighter fluid right here, Zippo fluid for my Zippo lighters, and for starting fires too. If things are a little bit damp and you need that little extra push to get the fire going, I find Zippo fluid works really well. Okay. Of course, in this watertight container. Okay, as you can see, it's got a rubber gasket inside the lid, and yeah, and it just seals down nice and tight. It is waterproof. I have thrown it in the water. It is waterproof. So in that, I've got my Zippo lighter and strike anywhere storm matches. Okay, you can see that these are also encapsulated, just so I can keep a grip on them, and you're not dropping a whole bunch of stuff down, stuff around. Okay, you're going to notice as we go through all the stuff that all my stuff is compartmentalized and organized. All right, so that I can just reach in. I pretty much know where everything is all the time, right? Okay, so in here, I haven't seen anyone do this for a long time. Okay, these are groups of these are groups of three matches. Okay, and what we did is we took cotton balls. I think there's 2 cotton balls per bundle of these, and we just stretched them out and wrapped them around, and then coated them all in paraffin wax. All right, so these are strike anywhere matches, You just strike, and this is pretty much going to get your fire started and rolling. Okay. Now, a little thing with wax of any kind, whether it's paraffin or beeswax, if it's exposed to if it's exposed to moist air and stuff over time, the wax absorbs that moisture, and then that moisture absorbs into the wood and the phosphorus and sulfur and stuff in the matches, rendering the matches almost useless. Okay, so you got to keep up on this stuff. So usually about every 6 months, if I haven't used them all up, I make more. All right. Of course, whole pile of matches, and these are wrapped up in Saran wrap. Okay. In this little bag here, this is a sewing kit. Okay, just a basic sewing kit. I think you get these at the dollar store for like $2-3. Okay, and that's it for in this little compartment thing. All right, now in the very top of my bag, right up top here, is, because I don't want to damage it if I drop my pack or anything like that, is my my little MSR pump. Okay, this one here is brand new. It looks like my son has got the one that we usually use. It's also got pardon me, it has also got a ceramic filter, which is which you can back flush and clean out. Okay, so that's right up top. Okay, you'll see that I'm very heavy on the water situation, very, very heavy. I've already ran into a couple times where my filters got plugged, and I was down to using cotton socks to filter all the sediment out, and then boiling, and then it was just a pain. Anyhow, in here I've got in this little black bag here, I've got candles and a couple of Bic lighters in the bottom. Okay, keep an eye on your Bic lighters. Make sure that they still light and they're still full of fluid. I believe they're storing them like this. After a year and a half or so, I would think of changing them. Okay. All right, we'll put that there. Of course, my mess tin. Okay. As you can see, it's a stainless steel tin. It's very well constructed. It's not lightweight and it's not heavyweight. Okay. So inside of that, what I've got is I've got a bunch of tea bags up here. Myself, I like blueberry tea. I like that flavored fruit, those fruit and berry flavored teas. They're just a little pick me upper, you know, give you a nice little boost. I've got all my supplements. Okay, vitamin supplements. Okay, lots of this is a phytoberry again, just like in my other pack. All right. Soup, ready-made soup mixes. Okay, and at the bottom I've got cornbread, a cornbread mix right here. Where was I buying these? I can't remember. Can't remember if it was Walmart or somewhere else, but they just come in a box, and there's all the I believe there's 4 or 5 packets in there. There's enough to make two small batches of cornbread. And so what we did, as you can see, we vacuum sealed this, right? What we did is we mixed all the ingredients together. We measured them all out and mixed all the ingredients together into these to form these packets. And it looks like I'm going to have to do it again because I've only got 1 packet left in there. Alright, so this is stuff right in here that's just quick and ready to use, and of course salt. Hey, good idea to have salt. Got to keep salt in your system. And this stuff is iodized salt, all right? So, all right, guys. So I'm not trying to beat a dead horse here, okay? And you know, you know, like bug out bags. Let me show off my gear. This gear here is taking me quite a while to either purchase, well, both to purchase and to think about what I want. And of course, I've traded other stuff that I used to carry. I've traded that off and given it away to other people that are just starting out. Of course, I've got a mesh scarf or shemag, whatever you want to call it. And what I use this for, it makes a really good face cloth for scrubbing. Okay, it acts like a really light, soft Brillo pad, and it's also really good for scrubbing out your pots and pans with. All right, so this one is new, yes, because I wore out my last one. It took about a dozen trips, and it was finished. Right here, I've got a small light Helly Hansen toque. You can sleep with that on if you like, just to keep the top of your just to keep your head warm and conserve body heat and energy. All right, and there's also a neck warmer in here too, and yes, neat little piece of rig. I'm not sure if I showed this my other one off in the other pack, but what this is just a rope tie down strap, rope tie down light cargo strap. But I found you could use this for like a ridge line, for your tarp shelter. Just put it between two trees and tighten it up, and off you go. It's really quick, very simple, and of course you're not tying any knots and cutting your paracord up when you're doing this too. Okay, and it's pretty lightweight. I mean, like, I don't even think it weighs half a pound. Okay. So that's a cool little piece of gear, and I had just picked up on that one like last year, so it's kind of cool. Of course, an Arctic Fleece shirt, right? Remember, we're talking all weather here. And over on that side, I've got a small old tent bag. Okay, lightweight tent bag. And of course, as I discussed before, we can use that for various things. Stuff we find along the way, maybe even game. And this stuff is super easy to clean. Just simply turn it inside out and wash it off and let it dry, and then turn it right side back out again. Really easy to, really simple. Okay. In this bag here, I've got my do-rag. All right. It's actually a welder's cap, but it's kind of like it acts really well as a do-rag. Okay, it's got a sweatband on the inside, a little bit of mesh. Okay, which you can wear as a lighter hat or as a camouflage pirate. Okay, over here we got our floppy boonie hats. Right, I do go fairly heavy on the hat thing, on the head protection thing. Okay, I have suffered from heat stroke before, and just because I was not wearing a hat, and the sun was just beating on me, and oh man, it was just miserable, I'll put that inside of here too. Thing. Actually, two more things. Right here in the side pouch, I carry a small fold-out saw. Now this one is just a Yardworks pruning saw that I bought from Canadian Tire, and it is just a fabulous little piece of gear. I find you know, like, you don't have to go out and spend your $200 on a Silky or whatever it is. And hey, if you can, go for it. They're a good tool, right? But this one here features nice little locking stuff mechanism on it here. It opens up. It's geez, that's what, a 12-inch curved blade. Okay, and this little puppy just saws like crazy. And I found it extremely easy because of the way the teeth are. I found it very, very easy for me to sharpen myself. Okay, and that's something a lot of guys don't really talk about much, is being able to resharpen your tools. Okay, and I find that very important, very, very important. Okay, now in here I've also got a small hatchet, little Estwing, nice little Estwing hatchet. Okay, this old girl, I picked it up at a yard sale for like $5 or something like that, and they're really high quality. I rather like those old Estwing tools. And of course, right in side pouch here also, I've got my Cutco. It's just a general purpose hunting style, hunting kind of bushcrafty knife, and that is a really, really nice piece of gear. Okay, somehow or other I lost the sheath somewhere, and so I just went and whipped this one up out of an old piece of leather. Okay, go. So that is it for the contents of this bag. Now I'm gonna stop the video here, and I'm gonna reassemble it all, and you can take a and you can see what it all looks like put together. Okay, just so you know I'm not fibbing you. Alrighty. Okay, we'll just talk in a sec here. Alright, one thing that I did not mention was this little black bag right here. Okay, what I have in it, and you'll notice that I've tied it, I brought the drawstring back over onto itself over here to make a bow like this. Okay, that's to fit in the it's to fit on the pack without it sticking way out the sides. I hate that stuff. Anyhow, what's in this bag is just simply a light jacket and a pair of pants. Okay, so I've got to change the clothing even, for crying out loud. So if a guy has to stop and camp out, I can do laundry and remain clothed. It just made sense to me. And I don't see a lot of guys doing that kind of thing in a get-home bag. Mainly, I think it's because a lot of the people on YouTube they work locally. You know, like within 30-40 kilometers of home. Maybe even 50 or 60 kilometers. Still, that's not that far. Whereas I'm working several hundred kilometers, sometimes away from anything at all. So, in some very remote spots. So having a pack like this in my truck, or crew cab, whatever, is quite a good idea, and we have used things out of it on occasion. We have been stranded for, you know, not quite overnight a few times, you know, but pretty late, right? And stuff. And guys do start getting grouchy when they miss their supper and stuff like that. All right, a couple other little add-ons here that I had forgotten to mention before was my Sage Shamrock bow. Okay, usually I have a case for this well, it just goes right here, just like this. So you can see I've got the two leaves. It's a recurve, 55-pound draw weight, and here's the main body of the bow right here. All right, and also of course right here I have my cold steel rifleman's hawk, which I've had for forever, it seems like, and I made a little sheath on it here so I don't go cutting things up and damaging my leaves on my bow. Okay. All right, so this is what she looks like, all done up. Let me take the camera off of here and we'll show you. Right, so that's what it looks like when it's all done up and ready to go. You can see how the straps work on the exterior bag. There we go. All right, so there you have it. There's my emergency evac, get home, get the safety bag. that I've packed everywhere. I also use it for my camping bag too, because really everything in there I use for camping. So why wouldn't I, right? So that's it. That's it for the bag. All right, down in here, of course, in these pouches, I've got my compass and a map all folded up in there. Road maps too. And on this side here, I don't have anything in there right now. That's where I just stuff those extra things you find along the way, like we talked about before. All right, I know this video was a little long. Guys, give it a thumbs up if you liked it. I hope and share too. Give me a comment. Like I said, this is some of the only intelligent conversation I seem to get as far as socializing goes. I better shut up. My wife watches these videos. Anyhow, everyone out there, take care. Hope you took something away from this, and stay safe. See ya.